The GOAT debate has been going on for far too long, and it shouldn't have. Many names keep coming up, many candidates, and don't get me wrong, they're all legitimate, but the fan bases and the arguments are making this conversation way harder than it needs to be, because it's fairly easy. Use your head a little bit and you'll find the answer. So we're gonna proceed by elimination, and as we do, the answer will become clearer and clearer. So the GOATs of this community tends to be GSP, Silva, Khabib, Jon Jones, and Mighty Mouse. I won't take into like the Fedor, Emelianenko and all of that. You know, I'm strictly talking like UFC mostly. Like I said, they all have very different reasons to be there, and they're all valid. Khabib, complete dominant style over his opponent and high profile fights like with McGregor and all of that. Silva outclassing his opponents in a way that we had just never seen before. GSP with his 30-some consecutive rounds that he won in a row. And Jones with his success at a young age and his longevity. Mighty Mouse with his overall techniques and like overall skills and all of that. They all have very different reasons and very valid reasons to be there. But only one man can sit at the top. So let's eliminate the first one straight away. Anderson Silva is not the GOAT. Now don't click off the video just yet and leave some hate comments. Listen to my arguments and you'll see the truth. A big mistake MMA fans usually do when talking about a fighter is only taking his wins into consideration or his prime. But unfortunately for you, when talking about a GOAT, you have to take the whole career into consideration. So with that said, Anderson leaving the UFC on a losing streak and the people he lost to kicks him out of the conversation. Anderson Silva's prime was unmatched at the time, styling on every opponent like it was in the Matrix. Longest win streak in the UFC at 16, 10 title defenses, moved up to light heavyweight and got some good wins there. All of that is GOAT worthy for sure, but then he lost and lose again. Then he popped for steroids. And by the way, it might be an unpopular opinion, but personally, steroids don't take you out of the conversation right away, because I truly believe every high-level athlete is on some kind of steroids. So, but even then, he lost again to Bisping. Then he lost to Daniel Cormier. And yeah, he got a decision over Derek Brunson, but after that he went on another 3-fight squid, ending it with a loss to Uriah Hall, and then going to lose to Jake Paul. So I'm sorry, but with the other guys on the list, he just doesn't match up with them. And I know he was old, I know he was out of prime, but still, if he retired after the Weidman loss, he would be regarded as so much greater. Everybody would have understood that he was old and all of that, but he didn't. And the last 8 fights we have from him are losses. So when you take his career as a whole, Anderson cannot be the GOAT. I would say that Anderson probably had the most impressive prime in UFC history. The greatest prime in UFC history. That's Anderson's title, but not the GOAT. Just like for the second guy, and I'm gonna make a lot of enemies with this one because the second elimination is gonna be Khabib. Khabib is not the GOAT. Sorry, he just can't be. He has GOAT level skills. Nobody argues with that. He definitely has GOAT level skills. His dominance at lightweight is just unmatched. And contrary to popular belief, I don't believe his career was like cut short or whatever. He cracked the code and he won the game, winning the belt, 3 defenses, and in the process made tens of millions of dollars, had the biggest fight in UFC history. That's very good. He had no reason to stay at all, but as good a career as he had, it's not a GOAT-worthy career at all. It's just not. When you compare it to guys like Silva, Jones, GSP, and Mighty Mouse, it's just not as impressive, let's say. And people usually use the argument of he never lost a round and all of that, and he never bled, never got knocked down, anything. But that doesn't really mean anything, because first, he did lose a round against McGregor, and 2, the argument that nobody could be competitive to him doesn't mean shit. Because take Jon Jones for example. If he stopped his career right after the Chael Sonnen fight, you could say the same about him. Nobody could compete with him. He just blew everyone out the way. And that was his like, what, 5th, 6th title defense? So that's already better than that argument. Eventually, when you rack up title defense, you're gonna have a hard fight. And pulling through those hard fights even make you higher on the GOAT list, in my opinion. So Khabib is not the GOAT, sadly. What I will say about him, he is the most dominant fighter in UFC history. Style-wise, he was really ragdolling everyone. But achievement-wise, there are people greater than him. Now at this point it's between GSP, Mighty Mouse, and Jon Jones. And I'm gonna explain this to you, right? When you think GOAT, you think greatness. You think dominance over a division. You think superior skills as everyone in front of them. You think high profile fights. You think influence over a generation. You think beating multiple generations. And they pretty much all have that, but one of them just doesn't exemplify the word excellence required to be a GOAT. And that's Jon Jones. Now, Jon Jones has been my favorite fighter for years. I was so hyped for his return, I defended him every chance I had, and I still do. But he's not the GOAT. Like I said, the steroids talk doesn't automatically take you out of the conversation for me. It just doesn't. But with Jon Jones, it's just too many asterisks on his career. His talent is unmatched. His record winning like the belt at 23 is still unmatched. And he's still a champion today. But look at it this way. Yeah, his longevity is crazy. But since 2011, the 13 years he's been champion, how many years has he actually fought in? 7? 8 at most? Consistency in a career is very important. And how many fights were controversial? Even his most important win over Daniel Cormier the second time has been overturned to a no contest. So when there's that many controversial points to a career, it's hard for me to call you the undeniable GOAT. Even more so when you have Mighty Mouse and GSP in front of you. Because those fighters were just as dominant, if not more, the same type of career in arguably more skilled divisions. But they don't have any mark next to their name. They did it completely clean, no controversy at all, completely, like no arguments at all. So for that reason, I can't call Jon Jones the GOAT. But like Joe Rogan said, he is the best talent that we've ever seen in the UFC. He is undeniably the best talent that we've ever seen, pound for pound, all time. He's the best, but not the greatest. Now, between the two most worthy contenders, GSP and Mighty Mouse. When you look at it, it can't be Mighty Mouse. I can't call Mighty Mouse the GOAT. He does have the longest defense streak. He does have the best move we've ever seen in the UFC with the suplex armbar. But his division just wasn't that stacked. When we talk about the MMA GOAT, we talk about achievements. And he arguably never lost his belt in the UFC. Then he went to one championship, gained the belt there, beat Rodtang, even survived in his world of Muay Thai for one round before submitting him in round 2. And to this day, he's a model champion. His breakdown of fighting on his YouTube channel is still so impressive. All of this is crazy, and he even gave us the craziest pick in UFC history. The thing stopping him is he doesn't really have any notable wins in the UFC. Like he got Cejudo, Benavidez, and like a couple of guys, you know. He has no big names. The fight with TJ didn't happen. And the defense over Tim Elliott is not worth the defense over like Koscheck or anyone that GSP fought. Cause that's who the GOAT is. GSP. The undeniable GOAT. The personification of greatness. And I don't understand why there is even still a debate. GSP is the one that gave legitimacy to the sport. Classy champion. He was the first one to come to the press conferences in suits. He was a dominant champion, carried a whole country on his back, dispatched opponents one after the other. He wasn't always the most entertaining all the time, but he basically put a clinic on every single one of his opponents at one point. From 2007 to 2011, GSP won 33 rounds in a row. Let me say that again. 33 rounds in a row of dominance. He did lose in his early career, but avenged both those losses before starting his long reign. It's not like he lost mid-career or anything. Now, he did have that fight against Hendricks, but I think all of us know the deal with Hendricks. As soon as drug testing came around, he disappeared from contention, and it still was competitive. And talking about drug testing, he was the one advocating for drug testing the whole time. He was super vocal about it when nobody else took it very seriously. And then he took a 4-year break, came back at middleweight, and became the champion by beating the actual champion. And you could say the same with Jones, but Gane wasn't the champion. And with GSP, there is no asterisk next to his name. Jones' career is only filled with asterisks. Oh, he popped. Oh, he hit under the cage. Oh, he got suspended for this, got suspended for that. Oh, he did this, he did that. Oh, he got stripped. Oh, he's suspended again. Like, his career is very similar to GSP and Mighty Mouse, but those two don't have any asterisks attached to them. And to me, what sets GSP apart from the rest is winning the belt at 185 and being such a role model for every martial artist. His career is GOAT-worthy. His skill set is GOAT-worthy. His demeanor and him as a person and as a role model is GOAT-worthy. He fought some very high-level opponents, and he had some very high-profile fights that maybe Mighty Mouse lacked. To this day, we could still argue that he could beat the actual champion. He is the greatest UFC champion of all time. You could maybe switch Jones and Mighty Mouse for the second place, but as I keep saying with Jones, his career is so full of flaws and lack of consistency that I can't call him the greatest. But with GSP, everything is there. Absolutely every prerequisite needed. Yeah, GSP is the GOAT. The debate is solved. But you guys let me know what you think. I'm always open to debate in the comments. You guys give me your opinion. Is Mighty Mouse the GOAT? Maybe. But in my head it's very clear. I think I made it very undeniable as to why GSP is the GOAT. But still, if you have something to say, you can leave a comment, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.